We're going to switch gears here to talk to Larry Klayman. We had a great interview a couple weeks back, 120,000 views on YouTube. And would like to hear from Larry. Are you there, Larry?
Joe, I'm here. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Well, look, the Senate Judiciary Committee just approved legislation. That's why we wanted to have you back on today, to protect the Mueller probe so that Robert Mueller can't be fired. What is playing out now? Are we at the end game where they're just trying to save Mueller so he can keep persecuting Trump? And what can and should Trump do to fight back?
Joel, the reality is, and we've seen this all along, is that it's not just the Democrat establishment in Washington, D.C., it's the Republican establishment. They want to see President Trump dead politically, and in some cases, actually. It's unbelievable. It's outrageous. This is Senator Charles Grassley. He's the chairman of that committee. I've dealt with him in the last few years. I tried to bring mass surveillance to his attention, and he didn't listen to me. I don't think he understood what I was saying. I think, frankly, not only is the establishment, but he's become senile in old age. But you've got this very evil establishment that wants to destroy the president. And that, of course, explains why Jeff Sessions is left alone at the Justice Department to do nothing. This week he says he's not doing anything because special counsels take on a life of their own. Well, yes, if I was special counsel, and you go to our website at freedomwatchusa.org, you can be damn sure I would take on a life of our own. I would prosecute elite criminals on behalf of the American people: Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Robert Mueller, Barack Obama, George Soros, the rest of them. But this establishment doesn't want to rock the boat, and Trump rocks the boat because he challenges their money train and their power. And that's why we, the American people, need to rise up. And it's why I need to be named special counsel. And I also think that we should be starting citizens' grand juries, which are totally legal. Justice Scalia found in 1992 in a case, United States versus Williams, that the grand jury belongs to the American people, not to the other three branches of government. We have the right to impanel a grand jury, to indict, to try, and to convict. And also we have the right to sentence and enforce that. And I would go to a federal judge through a citizens' grand jury. Again, you can see that on our website at freedomwatchusa.org. And I would seek to enforce the convictions. We need your help. Okay. We need the American people's help here.
All right, yeah, you can go to freedomwatchusa.org. So Larry, how does this work? Can you come to Texas, come to Dallas, and choose citizens and set up a grand jury? How would that work? And how would you impanel people? And how would you get testimony? And what would happen in the end? Explain the process.
Yes, and we need resources to do that so people can donate to our cause by going to freedomwatchusa.org. But I am a member of the Northern District of Texas District Court. We could do it, in and around InfoWars down there. I would like to see them play a role here too, so we can reach the American people. But yes, we can impanel grand jury by going to neutral voter rolls and choose them randomly, exactly the way it's done by the Justice Department and judges. We would then choose a petit jury once we got convictions, a regular jury, again, neutrally chosen, get a retired judge that had some courage. I've got some in mind. And then we give notice to the defendants, such as Comey, Mueller, Clinton, and the rest, that they're willing to come and testify in front of that grand jury. And if they don't, we'll seek to indict them on the evidence we have. And then we'll try them. We'll try them before a neutral judge and a jury, and we will convict them undoubtedly because there's so much evidence out there. There's no way that we don't get convictions. Easier than convicting, I might say, Bill Cosby. So this is what we have in plan.
Yeah, what would happen with that conviction? Can you then enforce it? How do you enforce it?
Technically speaking, the American people could enforce it themselves like they did in the Old West. I wouldn't advocate that. But I do have a judge in mind who I believe would issue an order to the U.S. Marshal Service to arrest the criminals and throw them in federal prison. And we can certainly find, with all of the judges in this country, one judge that will do that. I have one particular judge in mind who I believe would do that. But we've got to try it. In addition to being special counsel, I wouldn't need a citizens grand jury if I was appointed to that. But if that does not happen, and I don't believe that it will, because President Trump's been collared, I think, by his lawyers to take not very strong action here, we need to do the citizens grand jury. We need to do it quick because our country's sinking into the swamp.
All right, do you have faith? We've got this guy Huber is a prosecutor working with Sessions. You've got the Horowitz report coming out in drips and the big part is probably coming in a couple of weeks. You've got this guy, Cohen Watnick from the intelligence working with DOJ. Do you not have any confidence that this system that is slowly working behind the scenes will go ahead and come up with prosecutions, indictments, and carry out what a special counsel would have done anyway? And why not?
Zero confidence, Joel. Look, we have the example of the last 3 decades. When has any of the elites in Washington, D.C. been held accountable for anything? What happens is the justice system burns the lower level and middle hanging fruit. People like Scooter Libby, who was chief of staff to Vice President Cheney in the Valerie Plame scandal. He got indicted. Cheney never got indicted. Karl Rove never got indicted. No one gets indicted. So we need a special counsel. That's why I should be appointed. You can go to our website, freedomwatchusa.org. And in addition, we need a citizens grand jury, because we need to go after the high-hanging fruit. We need to go after Obama, after Clinton, after Mueller, after Comey. Look, Mueller has been leaking grand jury information. That's a crime. He should be taken out legally now for that. I have cases pending in that regard, but if I was special counsel, I would control a grand jury and have him indicted for that and convicted and thrown in prison. This guy is a crook. He's a criminal. He's dishonest. And the Republican establishment's backing him up because they want to see the president legally dead. And people need to understand that.
Tell me this. Do you think it's realistic that the people lower level of the FBI decided one day, we don't like Donald Trump, let's start this whole thing in motion and work with the DNC to try to spy on him and then get him out of office? Is that realistic, or by definition, did it come, orders come from the White House, from Valerie Jarrett, from Obama, just like with the IRS scandal, where they used the IRS to interfere in the 2012 election so conservatives could not organize? Is this only originating the FBI, or does it come from far above?
It comes from the top. It comes from people who are in control of the FBI, Comey and Mueller. Before that, it comes from the president of the United States, Barack Obama. Yes, it comes from him. You know, average FBI agents, special agents, I've represented them. They're generally very good, honest, patriotic people. If they want to stay in the FBI, they have to do what they're told. Many of them have quit. Many of them expressed complete consternation and disgust at what happened with regard to Hillary Clinton and covering up her email scandal and other scandals. It's the people at the top that are highly corrupt. And that's who we need to hold accountable to set an example for everybody else. You know, we peasants, you know, if we commit a crime, we go to prison. But if you're a higher up, you just walk off and continue to cash in and around Washington, D.C. and state capitals. And this is why this country's coming unglued. This is what we saw in the days leading up to the revolution, which caused the revolution. King George III and his yes men judges rubber stamping the illegal acts that he was issuing by edict against the colonies. We are in a second American revolution. So.
Okay, very good, Larry. We only got a few seconds left. I want to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for being here on InfoWars. Don't forget to get The Art of the Insult, the InfoWars store. Go check out Larry's website, freedomwatchusa.org. And God bless Kanye West. We'll see you next time.